Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be shift your energy from them to you. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So over the years, I've mentioned the narcissistic relationship. It's built upon energy, and it is your energy that has fueled that narcissistic relationship. The narcissist looked at you as an opportunity. They looked at you as a person they could take advantage of. They consumed your time, your energy, your purpose, your hopes, dreams, aspirations, your relationships, and so much more. When you were in that relationship, you didn't know what had happened. It's almost as if you were placed under a trance. That is why in each and every video recently I've suggested that people that are in these relationships, it's almost as if they are in a zombie-like, trance-like state, which is another term for the narcissistic fog, which in turn is part of the trauma bond. You see, you lost your sense of self. You lost your identity. You became a shell of yourself. All of your energy was being zapped left, right, and center when you were in that relationship with the narcissist. And they knew this. This is why they sleep deprived you. This is why they parental alienated you. This is why they didn't celebrate your birthday or vacations or a promotion or a pay raise. Or this is why when you got a new car, they would compete with you and say that they needed a better version of the car that you purchased. This is why they wanted to change your hair color. This is why they wanted to change your appearance. This is why they studied you and watched you and listened to the way you walked, the way you talked, your intelligence level, what your past experiences were, what your present relationships were, what your hopes, dreams, aspirations, and your future plans were. The narcissist is a mimicker. They're a master mimicker and a master manipulator. And what they do is they want to study people up close and from afar, and they want to steal their energy. Now to you, for me, to you, you are what I call a beautiful, bright, shining light. That's not what the narcissist saw in you. What they saw in you was an opportunity, was an empath, a clean slate, somebody that they could trick and trap and place in that narcissistic fog and take whatever they wanted from you. You must remember, the narcissist is loyal to nobody. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They can say that they've figured out that they should be a better person, or they've seen a therapist, or they found a higher power, or anything in between. But at the end of the day, the narcissist knows. They know that they're stuck in that low vibrational state. They also know that they're not going to escape that as long as they're on the planet. They also know that each and every day they do have an opportunity, just like you do, to stand for goodness or to try to destroy people's lives, and to continue to be jealous, to continue to be envious, to continue to blow up people's relationships, destroy marriages, crush people's identity, and take whatever they can from them. And they choose the latter. They choose the part which is easiest for them. And why would the narcissist choose what is easiest for them? Well, there are so many reasons. I'll give you three right now. One, because the narcissist cannot introspect. They can't be accountable, and they can't take blame or responsibility for their poor behavior. It would be too painful for them. That would create such a narcissistic injury. Maybe it would be a collapse they would never come back from. So that's why they rewrite the past. Number two is because they know who you are, or they knew who you were, and they knew that you would not want to quit on that relationship, and that you were committed, and you were devoted, and you were driven and determined. And the narcissist weaponized that against you. And the third reason, because these people know that when they were much, much younger, whatever they did and however it happened, they know that they're going to live a life of disruption, of deception, of misery, of destroying people's lives and mindsets, and of creating havoc. This is what these people do. They're ticking time bombs. They are people on two legs walking around trying to destroy as many people's lives as they can. So now you may be saying, well, Andrew, you're being a little rough. No, I'm not. If you've been in a narcissistic relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some are worse than others. Some aren't as bad as others. And then there are other relationships everywhere in between. The point is, this is the relationship you need to heal from. You now know that, or you're learning it. There's no other relationship known to humankind that you have to heal from. Say there was a death in the family from a stable, healthy person, somebody that you loved. Well, what happened after they passed? You probably went to some kind of ceremony and you grieved together as a unit, as family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, business associates, as everybody came together and grieved in one location, usually. Now, having said that, that is called grieving. That's called closure. That is a healthy way to end one's relationship, or to say goodbye to somebody when they die. Now, when the narcissistic relationship ends, of course, the narcissist doesn't die. But what happens is they don't give you closure. They don't tell you who they were. They leave your head reeling and spinning. They leave you stuck. They leave you trapped. You're left holding the bag. You don't know what's going on. And again, what happens? All of your energy is being spent thinking about them. Now, all the energy that you had, as the thumbnail mentions, that was going into the relationship. You were thinking about what you could improve, what you should improve, when you should talk, when you shouldn't. You were walking around on eggshells. You weren't certain if you said something or stood up for yourself, how that would be received. So after a period of time, you realized that you better be silent, because the narcissist was silencing you. Not exclusive to giving you the silent treatment, but you figured out eventually in that relationship, the more you talked and the more you stood up for yourself, the less the narcissist would tolerate it, because the narcissist doesn't like to have boundaries, or they don't want you to have boundaries, and they don't want you to have a voice. They just want you to be the indentured servant, the walking apology, the walking ATM, the person who regulates them, and the person who looks the other way and does not acknowledge their poor behavior. So when you were silenced in that relationship, what was happening? Again, your energy was being decimated. Picture, if you will, a beach ball in a pool, and you try to keep the beach ball underwater with your two hands. Well, you can only keep it underwater so long before your hands or your arms get tired, and then the beach ball erupts and it comes up underneath the water and bursts out through the atmosphere. Well, there's your narcissistic relationship in a nutshell. The thing is, you're the beach ball. Rough analogy, but it's true, because you weren't allowed to communicate properly. You weren't heard. You were being triangulated. You were being gaslit. You were being stonewalled. You were being given the silent treatment. Your energy was going out of the window, left, right, and center. This is why you weren't getting sleep. This is why you couldn't function at work on a high level. This is why most of your relationships were blown up, not only from the narcissist, but because you were changing, and other people were just saying, well, he or she is so in love that I guess they just don't want to spend time any longer. But again, there are so many different moving parts to why the relationship ended and how it ended. But it all goes back to your energy. So when you were in the relationship, you were putting the narcissist high up on a pedestal to the detriment of yourself, because that's how you were groomed. That's what you were taught. And if you didn't do it, there would be a big price to pay. If you did do it, well, then the narcissist had you in line, and then they would give you more and more to do tomorrow in the subsequent days, weeks, months, etc. Every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. I've been saying that for years, and it's never more true now than it's been in the past. More and more people are realizing that those very wise words are accurate. Now, you may flip it and say, well, yeah, every relationship has an expiration date. Every relationship ends. And that would be true. Because let's say that you know healthy, loving, stable people, maybe even your parents who were married, and they weren't the toxic people. They were loving, kind people and beautiful people. Well, eventually one of those people is going to leave the planet. That's what happens. So yeah, technically every relationship has an expiration date. The big difference between the narcissistic relationship and a loving, stable, healthy relationship is the narcissist is laying on the gas pedals, plural, of abuse. They're looking to break the relationship. They're not looking to build anything. They're looking to destroy. They're not looking to create. They're looking to cheat on people, not be honest or forthright. They're looking to take whatever they can, and once they get whatever they want, to crumble that person up figuratively like a sheet of paper, throw them away in the freeway, hope that they don't put themselves back together, hope that they stay stuck, and hope that they never figure out what just happened to them, and then they go off to the new supply. This is what the narcissist does. It's the narcissistic abusive cycle. It's what they've been doing long before they met you. It's what they did with you, and it's what they're doing right now with somebody else. And it's not just one person who's on the hook with the narcissist. It's multiple people. It's their children, it's their stepchildren, it's their past spouses, it's their past romantic relationships, it's their colleagues, it's their coworkers, their neighbors, their besties of 25 years, wink, wink. Anybody who knows the narcissist is paying a price. That price that will be paid will either be today, tomorrow, or down the road. Because once people realize what the truth is, meaning the person you're considering is toxic, maybe even narcissistic, once people figure it out on their own, and then perhaps they said to themselves, wait a minute, I actually did listen to the person who turned out to be toxic. What was I thinking? Well, first of all, if you're an empath or kind, loving person, it wasn't your fault. You didn't know. But second of all, now you know that there's no validity to the smear campaign. It was a person trying to gather up a posse, to gather up an army of people to go against you. That's what happened. That's why defending yourself against the smear campaign will never serve you. When you're defending yourself against the smear campaign, you're actually giving it energy. You're giving it attention, and then people are listening to your words and they're saying, no, I still don't believe it. This person who turned out to be the narcissist, they must be right. That's why myself personally, I figured out very early on to not give the smear campaign any energy. It wasn't worth my time. Did it hurt? Yeah. Did it sting? Absolutely. Did I have to see things that I didn't want to see and hear things I didn't want to hear? Yes, I did. Did I take the high road and know that tomorrow would be a better day? Yes, I did. Every single day. And my hope is that you're doing the same thing. But shifting your energy from them to you, this is what I'm referring to, whether you're in the relationship right now, which means going no contact, blocking, etc., but it's not that easy. Also, mainly for those people who are out of it. The people that are out of it, the people that are pining or stuck or ruminating or still thinking about the narcissist, I get it. I was there. Eventually, you must understand that your energy is being focused on a person who doesn't care about you. They don't love you. They never loved you. And all they were trying to do was keep you on the hook longer and longer and longer. So you would spend more of your time doing what? That's right, spending your energy thinking about something that would never happen. There's a term in the narcissistic glossary in the dictionary called future faking. Different people have different ideas what the definition means. My definition of that is when somebody tells you that something will take place down the road, and of course it doesn't happen. However, they knew that it wasn't going to happen. So they told somebody, example, yes, we could build your dream house and we could move to this state or this country, it's going to be amazing in 10 years. Well, they knew that they weren't going to do that because they knew that they weren't going to be in that relationship with you before that 10 years had arrived. So they strung you along and kept you thinking about the future. They were faking the future. And who pays the price for that? You do. I did. The narcissist doesn't pay a price for that. What they do is that they gobble it up. They enjoy future faking people because they keep people stuck and people are burning up their energy. I know you're understanding all of these things. So as I'm mentioning these ideas to you and these nuances on all the things, all the dynamics of the narcissistic relationship, when you shift your energy away from them and it goes back onto you, this is when things start to happen for you, good things. This is when you can now get more sleep. This is when you now are not checking social media and spying on the narcissist or blocking them and unblocking them or reading phantom emails or reading old emails or looking at pictures, wondering where they are, who they're with, what they're doing. I understand every single person who's been in the narcissistic abusive cycle in the relationship. We all have to heal, and not one of us has the exact same road to go down. We're all on the healing path, but some people heal quicker than others. The healing path or healing is a direct correlation contingent upon how much work you place into yourself, not into the narcissist. It's into you. That's why when you shift your energy from the narcissist to you, great things begin to happen. Now, they won't happen overnight. They may not even happen for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, but eventually, as I mentioned, your mind will get clearer, your energy will return, your focus will return, your health will return, your purpose will be presented. You will realize that the narcissist is who they are, not who you thought they are. And you will realize that the narcissist never cared about you or anybody. They simply wanted to keep you stuck so you would be thinking about them. You would be putting out their fires they were starting intentionally or not. You would be giving them money. You would be spending time with them. You would be providing something for them, maybe a roof over their head or maybe a car or maybe access to something. When all that goes away on your behalf, meaning you stop supplying the narcissist with utility or with things that you used to provide for them, is there healing to be done? Absolutely, there's healing to be done on your behalf, not on the narcissist's behalf. But when you stop doing what you were doing for the narcissist, now after time, you will realize that your energy is returning. Example, very simple example. Let's say that the narcissist, you gave them a car or their name is on your car, or vice versa. They're driving a car that you're connected to them somehow, or they're connected to you. Well, if they don't pay the, not the mortgage, they don't pay the car loan or the insurance, etc., well, you could be on the hook for that. When you detangle that responsibility on your behalf, and now the car is their responsibility, however you do it, well, then you don't have to think about it. What happens? That conserves your energy. That's one example. Here's the number one example, and there are so many of them, but let's say that the relationship has ended recently or a while ago, and you have nothing to do with the narcissist. You've relocated, or they've relocated, or they're living with the new supplier, whatever they are, who knows, who cares. But if you haven't blocked them yet, this is a prime example. Think about or consider going no contact and blocking them. Delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. What that means is anybody who still communicates with the narcissist, let them go too. they will be what I call casualties of the narcissistic relationship, and there are casualties littered all throughout the relationship. Some are human beings, some are pets. Much of it is money, time, energy, the future. There's so many casualties of the relationship. But having said that, your energy, when you shift your energy from thinking about the narcissist and what you could have done, should have done, would have done, and you focus on yourself, what you are doing, what you're going to do, and where you are headed, that's a magnificent, monumental shift in energy. And that's when all the energy stops going out the window to the fruitless narcissist back into you. This is when you begin to heal, and you heal properly. This is when you get your cup full, or begin to get your cup full, and it's when you recognize that you are the priority, that you come first, second, and third, and that there's no room in your life for toxicity, certainly no room in your life for a toxic narcissistic person. Now, this will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time, you will utilize the tools that I'm providing for you, because these tools are the tools that I had to teach myself how to do, and I did that very well. Along the way, not only did I figure out how to block, go no contact, etc., how to defuse the smear campaign, but that eventually I had to create, develop, and execute an exit plan. An exit plan is instrumental. If you haven't done it, you will do it. But these are steps along the way. There are so many nuances and layers upon layers that you have to figure out. But one of the most important, and this is one of the secrets the narcissist never wanted you to know, is it all, and I mean all, boils down to your energy. It's not just your heart. It's not just your money. It's not just relationships. It's your energy. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And the narcissist figured that out long before I did, and probably long before you did. But now that we've caught up, and now we've mastered stoicism, we've mastered silence, not the silent treatment, but we've mastered silence and inner peace. And we've been through the narcissistic abusive cycle, and we've risen through the ashes like a phoenix, put ourselves back together, and dusted ourselves off by the bootstraps and healed properly. Now we realize it does all go back to our energy. So just like this beautiful wind is picking up here in the Carolinas, and just like the sun is taking a couple minute siesta, this is energy. I am energy, you are energy, the trees are energy, the leaves are energy, everything around you is energy. And when you can harness your energy and put it back into yourself, and it's no longer being used to service the narcissist or to help them out, that's a great day. It's an absolutely epiphany. It's a moment that you will never ever forget, because that is a shift. The shift has to happen within you. The shift doesn't happen in the narcissist. It never will happen in the narcissist, because the narcissist can't change. They can't grow. All they do is stay in that stunted little mindset, that itsy bitsy teeny weeny little pea brain of theirs, and they know it. But usually they have the loudest voice, and they want to keep people stuck. So people are doing what? That's right. So people are burning up their energy thinking or helping or pining for the narcissist. When that all goes away, and I am not referring to a discard, I'm referring to when you finally get the message that yes, you will have ruminating days and hours. Yes, you will have time you don't want to get out of bed. Yes, you'll have days you don't want to go to work. Yes, you'll have days that you're just missing so much of what you had, or so much that you will never have, and how much time perhaps you thought that you wasted, although I don't believe you wasted 1 second. I believe this is a relationship that you had to go through. There was no other way, and you learned, and you're learning. But when you wrap your head around all that, and then you say, wait, today is the day I'm going to block them, or you know what, today is the day I'm going to go for a quarter-mile walk, or today is the day I'm going to join a gym, or today is the day I'm going to go to the library and read a book. This is growth. This is progress. This is your energy shifting within you. The narcissist tried to capture you and your beautiful, bright, shining light and use it as a fuel source for as long as they possibly could. They wanted to ride that out as long as they could. And they did just that until that relationship ended. And that relationship, unfortunately, but true, it ended when it was supposed to end. And the reason why I say unfortunately is, yeah, you may be thinking, well, I could have held on longer. I could have done this. Well, the way the world works, the way the universe works, the way energy works and vibrations work, that relationship ended the minute it was supposed to. That's how it had to be. There was no other way. When you practice that and you realize and practice radical acceptance, then you'll understand that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You may not be where you want to be, but you are where you're supposed to be. Side note also, remember, you must play this part of the video and play it a few times. There is no such thing as a coincidence on this planet. You may think there is. There isn't. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And so many times post-narcissistic relationship, when people are healing, and I was no different, everything comes full circle. You see the light you understand that that's something you had to go through and you didn't want to, but you did, and you made it out, and you made it out alive, and you're a whole different person. You're in that third version of you. And I'll give you an example. My favorite holiday was Halloween, and I still love Halloween, and I love all the holidays. No matter what culture or country you're from, holidays are great if you have the ability to celebrate them properly. Well, the discard happened 2 days before Halloween. Guess what happens? That's right, my house is sold. On what day? That's right. That's full circle. That's 2 years, 2 days being stuck, trapped, isolated, left for you know what. But there wasn't a second when I wasn't trapped and isolated that I wasn't working on myself and healing. And my hope is that that's what you're doing, or that's what you've done. And as I was healing over that period of time, my energy began to shift away from the toxicity and all the fakeness and all the abuse and all the punishment to myself. And as that happened, I grew, I changed, I evolved, and I became what I call the third version of myself. My hope is that's where you are, or that's where you're headed towards. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that, you're not alone. I love y'all. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And we have a couple visitors. I'll show you them in a minute. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Realize something. When you shift your energy away from them to you, that's a great thing. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult, but it must be done. Maybe today's the day you do it. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's in a week or so. But whenever you do it, it will help you. It's going to sting. It's going to be foreign to you, but it must happen by you. It's not going to happen by the narcissist. It has to happen by you. So realize that everything that you want in life, it's within you. It's not within another person, and it certainly isn't within the narcissist. It's within you. So realize that you're an amazing human being. You're loved, you're cherished, you're honored, and you're celebrated. And I can't show you now what I was going to show you because they just flew away. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.